Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lisa Elvin Staltare, and I'm a genealogist and a passionate traveler. Since the beginning of the year, I have been looking at les filles à marier, the marriageable girls, and getting to know their stories a little bit better. This is the companion series to my Filles du Roi series that I've been doing for the last couple of years. Les filles à marier are truly inspirational. If les filles du Roi are the founding mothers, these are the founding grandmothers. We are currently doing episode 25, and there are about 260 of them. So we've come, a little bit, and we've got a long way to go. But before we begin, let me show you ways you can support the channel. The first three keep you in the know: subscribe, like, notify. All that helps me make that impact on the on the internet. And then the other ways are ways to support the channel itself. You can do coffee, which is a on-the-spot kind of one-time only contribution, and Patreon, which is a monthly subscription, and you get perks and that sort of thing. And then the super thanks is something that YouTube has been offering me since I reached 1,000 subscribers. Yay, me, and thank you to all of you for joining me on the journey. So all of those are ways that you can help the channel grow, and I want to thank all of you who have helped thus far. Let's get started and get to know our filles mariées of this episode. Les Filles Mariées was the program, and it wasn't really even a program. It was just, this is what from 1634 to 1662, which is a 28-year period. The girls would come across to New France, maybe one or two or three at a time. Some instances there was maybe a dozen of them or so, but essentially they were sponsored by churches, by different companies, and they weren't given a dowry, they weren't given a king's gift. They came across of their own volition and truly made New France, the beginnings of it as well. Now, obviously, the space of about 260 girls coming across over 28 years, that works out to about, 10 a year, and was not sufficient to populate a country. And that's why Les Filles du Roi came into existence, because the government said, hey, we really need to make this happen. And that is why Les Filles du Roi was just 10 years, but they had so many girls come across, and that's what happened. It was the population boom. So our fille mariée of this episode, number 25, is Antoinette Grenier, and she is a viewer request. I do not have her in my files, so let's get to know Antoinette a little bit better. So Antoinette was born in 1637 in Paris, France. Her parents were Claude Grenier and Catherine. We do not know her last name. She was born in the 10th arrondissement, which is called actually l'Entrepôt, and it sits on the right bank of the River Seine. The 10th arrondissement also contains a large part of the Canal Saint-Martin, which you can see on the left of your screen. She was baptized in the parish or the Saint Laurent Church. This church is one of the, not a great wonder, but it's certainly definitely something to see. The church was founded in the 6th century, and the current church was dedicated in 1429. The exterior of the church or facade was redone in the 19th century. So, and here on the bottom is a picture of Paris in 1609, and that church is right there in the middle. So I thought that was a really neat picture to show you. So Antoinette would arrive sometime in 1656. Let's see who she selects as her groom. Jacques Bernier Dijon de Paris, meaning he's from Paris. So we have two Parisians hooking up. Born 1635 in Paris, and he was born in Saint-Germain, in the parish of Saint-Germain. His parents were Yves Bernier and Michel Treville. Now, he is born in the 1st arrondissement. I just want you to see how close they were. The 1st arrondissement, you can see it on that left of your screen, and just look up a little bit to your right, you got the 10th where she was born. Amazing. The church that he would have been baptized in is really renowned. The Church of Saint-Germain-l'Auxerrois is situated in the 1st arrondissement. And the current church was built in the 13th with a major modification in the 15th and 18th. From 1608 until 1806, it was the parish church for the inhabitants of the palace, and many notable artists and architects who worked on the palace or in the palace have their tombs in the church. During the 2000, because of the 2019 fire, which badly damaged Notre Dame, the cathedral's regular services have been held at the Saint-Germain-l'Auxerrois. So you can imagine how big this church is. Now, the first arrondissement, and remember, Paris is laid out in circles, is actually also called Le Louvre because a large part of it is taken over by the Louvre Museum. Of course, it's situated on the right bank of the River Seine. It also includes the west end of the Ile de la Cité, which is an island within the city of Paris. And this is one of the oldest areas. It was conquered by the Romans in 52 BC, while some parts on the right bank are really date back to the early Middle Ages. And as I've said, they have the Louvre Museum and they have the Tuileries Gardens. The Forum des Halles is the largest shopping mall in Paris. And much of the other arrondissement is dedicated to business and administration. So people don't generally live, and like right now, they don't live in the first arrondissement as they did in the past. So that is where Jacques is coming from. So Jacques and Antoinette were married on July 23rd, 1656, in Quebec City at the home of the governor, Jean de Lauzon. Not sure how that all came to be, but we know that these two Parisians found their way. Here we return to Ile d'Orléans. It is located on the St. Lawrence River, about 3 miles east of downtown Quebec City. The island was one of the first parts of the province to be colonized by the French, and you can see the fertileness. You can see how beautiful this island is and why they would have been attracted to it. It was originally named Grande Île, which means large island, Sainte Marie, Saint Mary, and Saint Laurent, Saint Lawrence. But eventually got renamed to Ile d'Orléans in honor of Henry II, the Duke of Orleans, who was the second son of King Francis I. So that's how Ile d'Orléans got its name. But I also wanted to let you know, in case you're looking at some really old documents and it says things like Grande Île, you will know that it is, in fact, Ile d'Orléans. And then you can also spot the fact that there are 6 different sections to Ile d'Orléans. Make sure you know which section your family lives in. In the 1666 census, we have Jacques, who is listed as an habitant, Antoinette Grenier, 28, his wife, and then we have their children, Noël, Pierre, Marie, Charles, Jacques. Now look at this, Gilles Goudreau, a domestic engagé, and Pierre Neveu, aussi engagé. So they have 2 engagés working for them, which I think is just amazing. 1667 census, we have Jacques Bernier, and we have Antoinette, we have Pierre, Marie, Charles, Jacques, Jean. They have domestic. Gilles Goudreau from the first census that we saw. And we have Pierre Neveu again there. And now we have another one, Guillaume Frété. They have 8 beasts, which is like cattle or horses. And then we have 25 arpents. So you can begin to see why they would need help. So 25 arpents is about 22 acres of land about. So yes, he was definitely a large land owner. So the family would eventually move to Cap Saint-Ignace, which is founded in 1672 and was actually born from multiple land grants from the intendant Châteauneuf. 5 different seigneuries were created that eventually formed Cap Saint-Ignace. Now, where does the name Cap Saint-Ignace come from? A small cape forming a peninsula in the river is the origin of the name Cap. As for Saint Ignace, it probably was given this name by the Jesuits in honor of their founder, Saint Ignatius. And in this picture right here, on your right with the red circle, that is the land that Jacques would have purchased. So quite a bit of land that he purchased at Cap Saint Ignace. And this is a picture of, on the middle, is just how close to the ocean it is, or the river, I should say. This is one of the older homes that existed from the 1700s. And then we also have an old mill that still stands there as well. And of course, the road to Cap Saint Ignace. So the tenant would become the seigneur. Yes, Jacques and Antoinette would become seigneur and seigneuress of Cap Saint Ignace. This is the actual bill of sale or purchase for that. And just an amazing journey that they were on. Let's have a look at the family they created. So all in all, they would have 11 children. Let's have a look. Noël would pass away at the age of 9. Pierre would marry Marie-Françoise Boulet and have 13 children, 9 of whom would make it. Marie would marry Pierre Caron and have 8 children, 5 of whom would make it. Charles would marry Marie-Anne Lemire and have 13 children, 10 of whom would make it. He also had a natural child with Marie-Anne Fay, who took his name and produced more Berniers. So let me know if you're a descendant from the natural child. Then we have Jacques, who we believe died in childbirth or childhood. And then we have Jean-Baptiste, who married Geneviève Caron and had 5 children, all of whom would make it. We have Elizabeth, who married Joseph Caron and had 12 children, 5 of whom would make it. Geneviève married Louis Côté and had 8 children, 6 of whom would make it. Philippe married Ursule Caron and had 6 children, all of whom would make it. And Ignace and Antoinette unfortunately passed away in early childhood. So you can see how many Caron. I think this one had 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4. 4 Caron married 4 of the family, so it's just amazing connection there. So if you're a Caron from that area, certainly your connection is very strong. Antoinette would die at age 76 on February 17, 1713. At the time of her death, they had been married 55 years. When Jacques would die a few months later, it was 3 days before what would have been their 56th anniversary. Just a remarkable study of love and devotion. And as of 1729, they would have 235 descendants. Just amazing. I can't wait to see who's a descendant from this amazing couple. As always, if I find more information, I love to share it. This is from our Free French Canadian Ancestors Facebook page. I recommend very, very strongly. And they have the file and the information about Jacques Bernier, the Jacques de Berry. So have a look at that. It's on volume 23, pages 14 through 24. The final tribute, we have both of them are listed on the monument at Indalee, and we can kind of see when they first established themselves or bought land at Indalee. It was 1659. So that is one of the early, they were there before even the Saint Famille Parish was founded. So that gives you an idea of, they are truly pioneers. As always, here are the resources I have used and continue to use. Want to just have a shout out again for Maple Stars and Stripes. Again, I'm preparing a road trip, so that'll be definitely downloaded and ready to play while I am, even though I've listened to it many, many times, I learn something each time I listen to one of Sandra Goodwin's amazing podcasts. And also, please check out Genealogie Québec, really a good website for everything that you ever wanted to learn about Quebec genealogy. And of course, a society is a good place to kind of connect with other people. And if your ancestors came through Michigan or the Rhode Island or that sort of thing, there are societies that can assist you and truly create a linkage for you as well. So we end episode 25. Antoinette and Jacques are truly a power couple. I mean, being both from Paris, so close to each other, and then getting married here at the home of the governor, and then becoming a pioneer at Ile d'Orléans, and then, taking up stakes and going to Cap Saint Ignace, and ultimately becoming a seigneur and seigneuress. I mean, that is the, New France dream. And honestly, they are truly that kind of power couple, and we are amazed by their journey, and we bless their memory, and we are thankful that they came to our shores and certainly left many, many descendants. I also want to say thank you to my patrons and supporters. Thank you for all you do to help me produce and contribute. I really, really am grateful and thankful for all of you. So until I see you on episode 26, I will say au revoir for now.